Still enjoying it, still coming good, feet are good, clothing's good, the pack's good, sitting there beautifully on my back without jumping up and down. Yeah, very happy with how things are going. Hey everybody, today I'm going to answer the question, did I get everything in my backpack? Which we posed the last video, probably given away, but I'm going to show you how I got everything into my backpack, including all of this stuff here, and run through a bit of my gear and explain why it is what it is that we have. So this is the finished product. It's weighing in at 7.5 kilos with all the water in it, so it's about 6.5 kilos dry, which is pretty good. It should be fine to run it. I've tried it a few times running with that weight, and it's been excellent. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up with a bit of the gear. These are the shoes that I'm going to wear, brand new pair of Salming Recoil trails, and you know, I've sort of fallen in love with these shoes. I've been wearing them for the majority of my training, so I'm very happy with those. Do a few Ks in them before the race starts, maybe about 100, and they should be good to go. Should be ideal, I think. So then going to socks, the system I've worked on is I've got these toe socks, just a toe sock liner, so they're pretty thin, and I've got another pair of socks that I find too thin to wear normally, but I'm wearing those two together. The reason for that is that if my feet swell during the course of the event, I can ditch these and then just go with the liner, and that should give me a little bit more room. I've also got another pair of socks that I'm sleeping in, which are a little bit thicker than these, that I might be able to wear as well. So I've sort of got three different sock combination options. These are the calf socks. I've been wearing calf socks a lot during my training, and I'm finding them really good. It's really hard to know whether they actually do anything or not, but yeah, I guess if they work in your mind, then they work. So we've taken those along with me. These are the undies that I'm going to wear. These are the T8s, super sheer, super light, dry really quickly. Got two pair of those so I can rotate round. Really good, no chafing. And pair of shorts, these are just real El Cheapo shorts, but they're super light, and the reason I like them is because they've got pockets both sides. There's one in the back as well that I probably won't use, but the two on the sides will end up having my little camera in it, and this one will have probably my glasses, which will be these ones here if I'm not wearing them around my neck. Sunglasses as well. These are, yeah, they're pretty nice, comfortable glasses. They're just cheapies as well, but they work pretty well. And I'll be wearing this hat, which is from Salming. Really nice and light. I'm probably going to punch a few more holes around it, a little bit more air in, but yeah, it stays on when there's a bit of a breeze, and I find it really comfortable. So in this little bag here, I've got quick access to, this is the camera that I'm going to use for the wildlife shots and for recording sort of a documentary as we go. It's nice and light, and it switches on, switches off really quick, and it's got a massive zoom, and it's got a viewfinder, which makes it easy for tracking animals and things, and it's got quite a long battery life too. So I've been using that quite a bit over the last few weeks, and it works really well. For most of the talking head stuff to camera, I'll be using the Insta360 Go 2, which I really like. I've used that heaps. It's really easy just to hold up there and talk to, and it's pretty easy to get action shots as you're going as well. It's got incredible stabilization, so it looks really smooth. So between those two, I should be able to capture the whole deal. Pretty easy to get access to, nice and quick. And that just straps around my waist. So let's go through the backpack. I'll start on the front so this lies down a little bit better. Two 750ml bottles. These are just cheapy from the supermarket, but I like them because they've got a groove in them, so they set about here and they sort of fit around your body quite nicely, and they've got a nice big cap on them so you can get nice big slurps, and a smaller one that goes down here, so I've got to be able to carry 2 litres of water the whole time. So two 750s and a 600, so I just go over that, which is about right. So in this pocket here, I've just got coffee in there as a simulation, but that's going to be Tailwind. So I've got a big bag of it, and I'm just going to put 2 scoops in each of these bags and carry them. And I have also got protein bar and another protein bar, and somewhere in here, Electrolyte chews from Salt Stick. They're really good just to chew on. I've got some electrolyte tabs in there as well, and some electrolyte powder to stick into water bottles, and some beans for a bit of extra energy, jelly beans essentially. And I'll also have a bumper bar in there on race day as well, and that will be my food for each day that goes in that pocket there. So that gives me a bit of balance, having all my food in there, water there, and water there gives it nice balance, which makes the pack sit on my back better. Doesn't sort of rock backwards and forwards and doesn't bounce up and down. So on the back here, on the top, I have got pretty much all of my medical kit, which is part of the compulsory gear. It just clips on to the top with those 4 clips. So in there is bandage, the usual things, trauma bandage, plenty of K-tape for blisters, etc. and some wool for blister protection. I won't go through that, but there's a whole lot of stuff in there like painkillers, lots of painkillers, and some gloves, various bandages. There's 2 scalpel blades for popping blisters. There's 2 hypodermic needles also for popping blisters. And there's a knife and a little pair of scissors and a pair of tweezers. A lot of that's around foot care. Foot care seems to be the number one thing. Emergency blanket, some antiseptic cream, some gurney goo, again for toes and your feet to stop them getting blisters. Sun cream, which is also an insect repellent. Hand sanitizer, which apparently is quite a big deal as well, sort of currency in camp. Whistle, and some lip balm. It's a bit of stuff there that I'll decant down into smaller containers rather than take those big ones. That'll save a little bit more weight and take up a bit less room as well. So I bought a pair of cheap Croc knockoffs for about $4, and I spent the evening punching holes in them, so they're even lighter. They're going to be good for around the camp, but obviously they're pretty bulky, so they don't go inside anywhere. I have to strap them around the outside, but I'll strap them on using a spare shoelace. Hopefully I won't need that, but it's a spare shoelace in case I do. So on the bottom of the pack here, I have got my sleeping bag. I won't pull it all out, but the sleeping bag is stuffed into this dry bag. It again goes on the outside, and there is a bit of a risk of showers while we're running, so I really don't want to get my sleeping bag wet. That would be not cool. So it's in a super light dry bag, and it just squeezes in with a little bit of persuasion. But that's a nice light setup too, and it can go on the outside, so it saves masses of space. Also in here, it's got this sort of secret compartment. So rammed into there is my puffer jacket, which is essential for around the camp, and also I've been sleeping in it when I've been sleeping in the garage and trying all my kit that I'm going to wear during the evenings, and yeah, I've been sleeping in this each time with the hood on and everything. It's really nice, really good and warm, and super light as well. On the top of this bag here, this is a separate compartment, stops there, and it's got a roll top, so I've got a super light rain jacket. Now I tried sleeping in that the other night as well when it was about 4 degrees, and yeah, it was really good. Again, I've taken it out of its bag and it just packs in there, and it actually helps to stop other stuff rattling around. Toilet paper. This is mostly toiletries and stuff in here. This cup is what I'm going to use for these meals, so they will be decanted out into smaller plastic bags once I get to Africa, and then to eat them at night I will be opening that up, pouring them into here, adding in 250 mils of water, putting the lid on, waiting for 10 minutes, and they're good to go. I've also packed that full of stuff, so no space goes to waste. This is one of my torches. We have to carry a torch. We have to carry spare batteries as well, so I've just taken 2 torches. This one works really good. You can walk around with it just in your mouth, or it clips onto a cap, and it will just hold it in your hand or sit in your pocket. It's got really good battery life and is bright enough for around camp type stuff. Also in here I have earplugs and toiletries. So I have got in here 2 separate multi-cloths, blue for bottom, pink for your top. Some soap in there as well. And I've got some cable ties. I just had a bit of a moment the other day where I thought if one of these clips breaks or something like that, some cable ties might be worthwhile taking. And also a towel. So that's a microfiber tiny towel, about that big. So if we do get to have a shower, I can just use that to dry off afterwards. Weighs next to nothing. And in this main compartment, let's go with the tech first. So it's a 10,000 milliamp power bank. So that's my spare batteries for my headlamps and also for the cameras. I think that's all I've got to charge. I've got a $100 phone. It's got a really good battery life because it's brand new. So I'm hoping that I can not actually even use it. So just have it off most of the time. We just have to be able to make contact if we need emergency contact. So yeah, for $100, that was a good investment. Miso soup. So this is my post-run drink. It's just to get my electrolytes back up. That's just chocolate with salt, and it's dried, so it's really light. A copy of my passport, which you have to carry all the time. We also have to carry a copy of our insurance certificate, so that if we need to get heli-vac'd anywhere, we can check the insurance is up to date. More salt sticks. and bamboo toothbrush, which I have shortened and drilled holes in to save weight, and that's my spoon for eating these guys here. So this is my other headlamp. This is $30 from Torpedo 7. Fantastic little headlamp. Sits on top there and has that bar, which is the light, and it has a spotlight on that side as well. Only weighs about 50 grams, I think. It's a good score, that one. Here's the bumper bars. I'll end up with one of these per day, so there'll be 4 of those for the actual race days. These are the best calories per gram that I could find. They're quite cheap too, so that was a good buy. This says coffee, but this is going to be more of the Tailwind packed inside there, and some more protein bars as well. So post-run it will be miso soup and a protein bar to get me back on track, and then possibly half of one of these as well, and then a full one for dinner. So in terms of food as well, what I've done here, because I can't unpack these until I get to Africa, so what I've done is simulated the size and weight of those. These are 110 grams each, and then here I've got 110 grams of desiccated coconut, which we had lying around not using. So there's 4 meals in there and another 6 in there, I think. So that will be the equivalent of all of that. So I know how much space that's going to take up in there and what the weight's going to be like as well. This is a last minute addition. This is the warmest polar fleece that I've ever owned. It's a kayaking under jacket. It goes under a paddle jacket. So it's quite bulky, but it's the warmest garment I've ever owned. So it's really light as well. So that's going to go in. I think I've been sleeping in that the last couple of nights in the garage as well, and I've found it really, really good. And that is just about it, except for my sleep system. Again, taken out of its packaging. But there's an inside pocket in here, so I've just been poking it in there. It keeps it all together. I'm just loving this pack. It's got so many compartments. It's really cool. So this is a Nemo air mattress. It's reasonably light, but it's really, really comfortable, and it's insulated. So I've been having some really good night's sleep out in the garage trying it out. So what I do is fold it up, and then I roll all of my bedtime stuff inside it so that it's one complete roll. So when I get to camp, I can just stick it on the stretcher, roll it out, and everything that I need for sleeping is right there. So that includes my polar fleece beanie, which is nice and toasty. This is the other socks for that sock system, but they're socks that I'll be sleeping in primarily, but I might have to use them for running if something untoward happens. This is an inflatable pillow. Again, this is about 30 grams and wasn't even very expensive, but really essential piece of kit for me. It just takes your head off the mattress when you're trying to sleep. And these compression pants. So they'll be my nighttime pajama pants, if you like. Or they'll be around the camp stuff afterwards. So again, I don't really know whether compression stuff works or not, but I need to put something on my legs, so I might as well be compression gear, I figure. It's all on the bottom. I've got another layer. These are the Tensor long johns. So I'll be putting them over the top of the compression pants, and I think that'll work really well. I've tried sitting around in the evening outside when it's been sort of 6 or 7 degrees, and the difference between having just the one layer or having the two is quite noticeable. This is a polypropylene t-shirt that will pair up with this on top, as well as the t-shirt that I'm going to run in. So I have this on the bottom, the t-shirt that I'm running in, then that, and then the raincoat, and then the puffer jacket. So that's quite a few layers, but I have slept with all of that on, and you have to say I haven't been hot, so it's probably about right if it gets down to sort of 2 or 3 degrees like they say that it can. So that is pretty much it. It still doesn't look like all that's going to go into that pack, but yep, I'm pretty confident that I can do it now. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that all that dry weight is only 6.5 kilos in there, which is outstanding. I've been doing a lot of my hiking with 12 kilos on my back. I wouldn't want to run with 12 kilos, but you can certainly hike with it okay. And the last couple of long runs I've done with that pretty much full, probably sitting at about 7 kilos, and I found that just fine. So yeah, it looks like it's all going to work. Unless there's something that I've forgotten. I've been going through the checklist a few times, and I'm pretty sure I've got everything. The question will be just how much tailwind that I can take. That's going to be essential that I get as much of that in to keep me sustained during the event. So training's been going really, really well. I've got 2 more weeks of high volume. I've just had 2 weeks of high volume and then 5 days of not very much. And then tonight I start off with another 2 weeks of high volume stuff. So we've got about 1 hour 45 with intervals today, and then some hills later in the week, and then a long hike. I think it's supposed to be 7 hours on Saturday, but I'm not going to do the 7 hours. I'm just going to cap them at 6. Cycle around to the following week, same sort of routine, and then I was meant to be doing another long run the following Saturday, but that's the day that we fly to Africa, so probably move that long run a few days ahead, because I don't really want to be doing a really long run then jumping jumping on a plane. So I'll probably move that to the Thursday and make it a little bit shorter as well. And then I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. I can't imagine that I'm going to feel like running very much once we arrive. Basically, we land in 10 o'clock in the morning after traveling for 22 hours or something, I think it is. I think that'll be just lying around for the rest of that day, and then the following day we pick up our camper and we're off on our safari. So maybe that night I might feel like going for a run, but I'm just going to sort of play that by ear and just make sure I don't make myself sick or overly stressed during that period. Just recover from the flying and stuff before we get into so much more training. But I'll be into my taper period at that point as well, so there's no real need to push it too hard. Yeah, so that's about it. A couple of things that I would recommend of this gear. These shoes from Salming, unreal, loving them. These meals from Nathan Favre and his Real Meals Company, these are delicious. No problem with eating all of those night after night. They are all different. That one's a beef stroganoff. Now this is a breakfast and it's a bircher muesli, delicious. Apples and cream rice, again delicious. The poles, I don't think I'm going to take them. I had intended to all the way and have been practicing with them, but I think they're just too awkward. They're just another thing to sort of try and clip on somewhere, and it's just getting a bit too much. It's not a mountain race, this one. It's mostly rolling country, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get away without the poles. A little bit of a gamble, but I think they will be staying at home. Yeah, so that is about it. So thank you to Salming New Zealand for the shoes, for the support from everybody. I've had lots of friends doing lots of running with me, which has been fantastic, really motivating and helping me get out of bed and some of those really early morning runs. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed that part of the journey. So we're counting down now. Today's the 1st of August and we fly on the 19th and we start racing on the 4th of September. So yeah, 1 month and 4 days and we're into it. Really getting very, very excited now. Just really looking forward to this last little bit of training and getting over there and getting in amongst it. So thanks for watching. If you feel like subscribing to the channel, that would be fantastic, and liking the video, giving it a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And I'll probably see you next time from somewhere in Africa. Cheers.